Welcome back to the Guildford.Games Festival scheduled programming. I am here with Fee and Talulah from Glowmade. How you doing, girls? You all right?
Good. Thank you for having us.
No worries. Anytime. Thanks for leaving your homes.
I know, right? It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Even with the rain, I'm so pleased. Thank you. So we're going to be talking a little bit about growing a studio as far as Glowmade's concerned, and lockdown, of course, because how could we avoid it? But before we get to that, could you just give me a bit of an overview of what you've done in your careers? What got you to here, I guess?
So this is my first time working in games. I'm an accountant by trade, so I work doing all things non-gaming really. So people, numbers, logistics, and anything that falls in between.
And have you found that being in games, it does have a different kind of feel to it to your average job?
Totally.
Oh, good.
Totally.
Oh, I am pleased.
Love it.
I wondered whether we were just so far off our bottoms that we
No.
thought it would be exciting. Oh, that's good. That's good. And what about you, Talulah?
Yeah, so this is my first gig in gaming as well. My previous jobs were working in visual effects and film. I was based up in London, working on crazy films that kind of drove me and worked me to the bone, and wanted to do something a bit more creative. And this is where I am from. So yeah, Guildford.Games seemed like the place to be.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about building a studio and culture and all of that kind of stuff. So when it comes to kind of starting, when you're a very small indie studio, what are the immediate challenges to kind of building that team up, would you say?
So it's funny actually, when I first joined Glowmade, there was 5 of us in the studio, and it was like a little box room, and it took 2 minutes to do the welcome. Now we're just like over 25, I believe. So it was kind of starting everything from production techniques to studio culture from the ground. So it was kind of making sure that as a team we were all listening to our past experiences of what positive takeaways we wanted to make Glowmade. From like a production point of view, it was very much does agile work for us? What's our scrum's going to be like? Sprint planning and things, and there's very traditional ways of doing things, which was the route that our team went down, but we moulded it into being what works best for us. I think that, from my point of view, that was a really a big thing that we needed to get right from the get-go. And don't be wrong, it took a while, lots of stacks and prompts to get all the devs together talking. But yeah, in that last year, that a lot was changed in that aspect. But that was quite a big challenge.
Well, I can imagine, because even with, even at 5 people, if you're not communicating and making sure that all of that, all of the information is being shared between everyone, it falls down so quickly.
Yeah. And very quickly you find yourself being comfortable with being in your own little bubble. And then as soon as you kind of, before you know it, you'll turn around and there's 20 people in the team. That communication is really key.
Understandable. What about you, Fee?
Yeah, I think we found it quite a challenging transition to go from such a small amount of people where everybody knew what everybody was doing, and it was all very integrated, and every morning we would all stand up and say, right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But then suddenly when you've got 20 people, it's not a great use of time for everybody to stand up.
Yeah, that's
and,
a 2-hour meeting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what have I achieved today? Yeah. So it's about how do you still have that integration and communication, but with a larger team. So we've had to do much more in a kind of sub-team, art, design, working and then communicating between the 2 teams as opposed to actually all as individuals.
That makes sense. How have you? I mean, obviously the team has grown, and you were at quite. I mean, I don't know if it was quite 25 before lockdown, but you were certainly heading there.
Yeah.
So how have you kind of maintained the culture whilst all so far apart? How have you kept that Glowmade feeling about your?
So we have our 10 o'clock daily wave where we all
do a virtual wave.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So we all kind of have a catch up, and then we're doing the lockdown long plays, which is our version of Desert Island Discs, where somebody gets chosen every day to give their top 3 songs as to what they would want to listen to on the Desert Island.
It's a daily that's just constantly rolling. I love it.
Yeah.
I want it. Okay,
yeah.
So now it lasts for 25, 30 days because everyone has to do it. But I think also, I was thinking about this the other day, at the start, we'd everyone was getting set up for their new desk, and it was like some people in their bedroom still or on the kitchen table, and you'd just like see a little friend walk behind you, and it would be a cat or a dog or a gerbil. And I think we've got a photo that we should put on Twitter if it's not, of Mike Green, our design director, of 2 of his daughter's pet rats on his shoulders.
Sweet.
So it's just kind of, again, just the daily life quirks that bring us together, and like just talking about things that aren't to do with work for 10 minutes every day.
And I think that's so important, because that is the joy of working in games, right? Is that you're working with people that you have shared interests in, that are doing really cool things that you want to understand how to do, or have worked on things that you love to death when those games came out. And the relationship that we build with our colleagues is, I mean, they are friendships. It's not a working friendship. It's a friendship.
Definitely.
You know, that's the way it works.
And I think I miss walking past people's desks and you see something really cool on their screen and you're like, what's that? What are you doing? Kind of thing. And so it's, how do you still celebrate that? So we've started doing a Friday love-in, so where everybody can kind of just post what they've seen, or what they think that somebody's done has been really cool, or even if it's, you know, somebody who's like done something really nice, you know, not necessarily game related, just bigging people up. And
I love that, because I found that it's something that a lot of studios do, but they often expect the individual to get up and say the cool thing that they've done. No one's going to do that. No. So you end up with this kind of disjointed, a little bit uncomfortable, but actually saying, my colleague's done a really cool thing, look at this. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I like that. Say Glowmade needs an artist. I'm sure Adam's staying. I'm not getting rid of him, so you guys should be fine. Say you need an artist. How do you get a feel for whether an individual would be a fit for Glowmade? Especially at a distance. I mean, it's got to be so difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely harder not in person, but it's a cliche, but you just know. You know, when you are talking to someone, you just think, yeah, they're going to fit. And sometimes you find that you've got someone who's really technically great, but you don't think actually they're Glowmade. So, you know, you would sacrifice a bit of technical skill for someone who you just think is really going to be a really good fit for the team.
Yeah. And I suppose once it, you know, even if it does mean going with someone slightly less experienced, they're going to be giving their all to the project, because they're going to be learning a bit more every day, working with other people. Yeah, that's very important. I like that. I think
the importance of just having an honest chat with someone as well. I think, you know, if it was out of lockdown, we'd go for coffees, and it would just be like that initial relationship building and working out, like Fee says, if they're a good fit for the team just as a person. But I think the leads and the directors do a really good job at just making sure they have a non kind of official chat with the applicants as well, and that's really important. And it's not just, you know, we need someone to churn the work out and be a machine. It's someone who's going to be creative in the team and be a team player.
And on those small teams, you're working with each individual so much more than you would be if you're, you know, a kind
the departments cross over so much that
for sure. This is the question that we've asked absolutely everyone inside and outside of games for this project. What is your favourite Guildford game? Past or present or studio, up to you.
So mine's a new one, and it's Knights and Bikes by Foam Sword.
Cute.
It's just a fun, uplifting game. I love the art, and I just think it's got good vibes.
The thing is it's like, I haven't played it, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just have to look at it and you know. But no, you should play it. It's
very
great.
Sweet. I will. Thank you. What about you, Fee?
I go Theme Hospital.
Oh,
primarily because my boys play it all the time.
It's a good choice. They've got taste. They really do. But no, that was when I was your boy's age, probably. I was sinking most of my life into that game too. Excellent choices. Ladies, thank you so much for coming to talk to us and taking some time out. And I'm sure we'll have a chance to speak again.
For sure. Thank you.